game.
It's cleaver time!
Okay, and there it's.
Hey boss, yeah, here we go. This is a very important race between these two teams. We've been talking a lot about YBB Gaming being that kind of #1 team at the moment in Division 2.
If you
who's
can
going to take
see
that
me,
second
you're
place?
already
So
dead.
the questions on YBB, if they will be that #2 outside from China, if they can be second place team, and well, this series can really determine who can get the momentum leading. We were thinking a lot in the panel about how we had some. We weren't too overly impressed with the YBB draft. But do you feel like the Death Prophet kind of helps out some of the issues that we were mentioning?
For the lane, it should make things a little bit better, at least against the TA, right? You're going to have the Spirit Siphon so that the TA isn't free to just... That's going to deal with the refraction somewhat. The big thing that I'm a little bit more concerned about is how this lane is going to go. It seems like the Ricky is going to be paired together with the Nature's Prophet, and it's actually going to be easy to do the silence lane to the TA. So again, a little bit more damage over time from the Arcane Curse. You can, I guess, somewhat trade with the Enchantress, and she does look on the better end of that, but they've basically set the lanes the best way that they can with the draft they've got. So that needs me to feel at least a little better, but I think outside of it.
I think a really nice thing that YBB can look to play with is the fact that you now have the Nature's Prophet that could look to TP in and connect the Death Prophet Exorcism. That's a really big thing that you need to try and utilize here for YBB to get that early tower. TA is more than capable to be pushed back to the jungle. As long as you can convert early that +1, then it could be able to catch the eye off guard. And I do also want to really mention about this topic real quick. This is a very interesting build I've seen from XM. He's got meld level 1 and the boots, and I really like it. The issue with the Death Prophet, you've got incredibly low armor, so they're going to try and play around with this double meld in the lane and with the Enchantress slow, and I don't think they'll get the kill, but it's probably like 2/3 of the one's health. And you see, double meld. He went a little bit early. Outside wasn't there to be able to play with Enchant, but now beyond, he's got Tangle coming up, but that's a really good exchange to start.
It is. I mean, it just means that the only reason XM went a little earlier is because he just needed to be there to be able to get some of these last hits, right? It's still very important for you to be the one that's carrying the game at the end of the day. You know, once he gets the Blink Dagger for himself, plus a few additional damage items, he can look to burst through a few of these heroes, most notably the Death Prophet and the Nature's Prophet, because they are a little bit squishier. Maybe not so much the DP these days, considering the style of build that they tend to go for. More auras and backing the rest of the team. You just see outside doing exactly what he needs to do on this top side of the map. They've actually switched the lane up back again, so CCQ going down towards the bottom side. I'm not sure how confident I feel about that. Maybe just feeling that against this dual melee lane, the Silencer and the Nature's Prophet would have a decent time.
First blood.
Blood's going to be picked up top lane, XM. Doing that with the early harass. On Death Prophet, it wasn't enough. It's actually going to be raiding that secure this early kill, which is incredibly important. We've seen a lot in the past. If we take our minds back to that time where TAs were just getting first pick and popping them down mid-game, where we're seeing kind of the vibe start, but seeing a lot of Death Prophets as a response to his Templar Assault. Capability to burn out that refraction with the Spirit Side and Exo. There was some stages in the game where you did have some issues with your armor, but I think Greaves is really going to change some of the issues because it's a knack build now. You can even consider about going Helbert if you really need to address the TAs. So pretty exciting to see around the mid-game how this kind of match is compared to what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really seen too much of this new DP style of itemization, have we? Sure, if XM can let YBB do keeps in his face, and you know, tips all about it.
Seems like mid-game, expecting kills at 7, he should be able to use the spear defensively with EchozZ aggressive.
I suppose it depends when it wants to level up the flame. That kind of disrupt your positioning a little bit, maybe make you miss the spear. Just got to make sure that he's on point with the timing of when to throw it out. Like, when do you need to use it on the back run? When do you need to use it on the wave so that you're able to freely farm? Should be, yeah.
They would do we need to see I put a lot more emphasis on making stacks because you have a Templar assassin, right? Even a Beastmaster for that matter.
Radiant's
as well.
courier has been
Down
killed.
axes. We've seen a lot of the time the Beast just able to clear the hard camp very easily, and even the ancient stack as well.
I think you essentially have to play the Activist build this time around, Ava, right? You're going up against Nature's Prophet with the trees. He's going to make absolute mincemeat out of any kind of wars that you summon and get even more net worth than he normally would. And so to be able to have something that A, lets you farm, but B, also potentially provides some disruption for that trade farming is going to be ideal for me. But it has to be the TA that picks up a lot of this farm. And luckily for outsiders, it's going to be, they're playing on the dire side, so they've got a little bit more junk to be able to play with.
Look like the safe is going incredibly well though. Top of the last hits. Got the Windlays and the gloves. Soon to be level 4, and this lane is going to get even easier. And we're going to start to see some of the supports look to rotate. Xiaoma already did a stack, and she wasn't able to pick it up. But were able to deny one of the war runes actually. In fact, micro with the trance will take it away from her.
I think I do like about the top side, especially with Destiny playing Ricky here, is that you are very, very tanky, at least in terms of your armor values. You can be sitting at 7 just because of all of the stats that he's got from his itemization, as well as Ricky just being naturally like that. And so a lot of the harassment that's coming out from outside is actually not doing all that much. You know, Enchantress that you pick her for is for that lane domination, but if you've got a tanky Ricky just standing in front of her and soaking all of that up, the DP can do what DP does best, you know, use the Spirit Siphon for aggressive maneuvers against the TA as opposed to just survivability. Looking to go for something fast.
Warriors of the wood.
Nice sprout. Nicely done by Lu. Spam the
No. I didn't put it in his mind.
He's already done it a couple of times this game, man. He's in the zone. Here we go, they're going for a double effective. Yeah. Siphon. Instantly removing all those refraction charges, then a Crypt Swarm in the face.
Dire's
just
top tower is
able
under
to,
attack.
get the damage out. Back to
And let's catapult.
I think he's fine with it. Like, yes, it would be great to be able to take away the tower, but the more important thing is that TA is out of the thing already. And just have a look at Destiny as well on his Ricky. He's coming through, and he's looking to try and soak up that farm, find the TA, and he's going to pick up 2 bounty runes as well for his trouble.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Neither we do see a kill pick up.
Radiant are
Brings down
scanning.
on the silencer. There is a bit of a contest around the first power in the game. God, okay.
Map of me.
Good.
Picks that up, so he also gets the Observer Ward, which again,
Ring out. Need the first one of the game. They're gonna have to damage the bring down echoes. Snowball will try to throw them into the lane. But he needs the right clicks and he's not gonna be able to find it. So echoes will fly away. So we are unable to convert on a big kill, which would have been onto the opposition's position too.
Up shards by Xiaoma, just locking off Z's from being able to throw in any additional damage. Of course, the glaives being pure damage meant that it doesn't matter if you're just standing underneath the tower, it's still going to provide the same additional amounts to be able to try and harass him down, but instead get the way. See how vital YBB feel it is to be able to take away this jungle farm from EA, though. They've been able to nullify the laning stage, and they've got to make sure that they're in a position to be able to evade as soon as possible.
There's still awesome play coming out from YBB. You're putting pressure from 2 into the moment. You know that the Death Prophet can solo the Templar Assassin if he goes to try and defend the tower. So with that Exo, it's just going to be a free objective here for YBB and simultaneously kind of put Lu in the mid lane to help with that push as well. Bring some reactions over there to lead beyond the lone. So first Echo will be converted.
And take away any kind of shreds as well, so they're not going to be surprised by the movement that's coming in towards this mid lane. The one upside for outsiders is that you've got Ada pushing the bottom side of the map because this help the Dominator recently picked up. That's the danger of doing a good job of pushing the lane down as possible.
Dire's middle tower
We're down here. And we can kill the top Echo at the end. He's going to push it.
Dire's middle tower
He's
has fallen.
YBB, what an incredible start for these lads. 2,000 net worth lead, but importantly, 2 tier 1 hours gone as well for the 10-minute mark.
Yep. Half-minute mark, they were able to pick it up. They're even going for a potential team here on the top side. Want to find XM? They're going to get him.
Another? He's going to go down. You're going to have to cancel. He's got that right on, yeah. This one died. This child might go down.
More than might. He's got the double damage on 70 as well, so he's going to layer this one in. The damage went through 3 and he's got one of these tower hits, and he's got the
under attack.
as well. It's just the rest of the kill, essentially.
Dire's top tower
one
is under
interesting
attack.
thing that I didn't kind of see originally with the Dire draft is that they are a little bit slow to do stuff. Like the TA needs farm. I really like to travel in BKB. I know South America is a bit different build. We'll see Whisper like the boot bearing. This kill should definitely help out efforts but get a little bit more net worth. The big sponsor as well is really poor at making rotations. You kind of force this thing to go around. So I'm quite impressed with how YBB have been able to kind of penalize the draft that we see as his own kills. So going to also some gold jet to the bank so he can get close to the helm of the Overlord.
I kind of agree with what you said there, but I feel like you're expecting these lanes to go so much better for outsiders, right? You've got a Bat Rider. How many lanes does a Bat Rider lose? Not many. And he was having a really rough time against the Mars, only really getting away from a couple of attempts and only having the 2 kills they're on at the 10-minute mark to be able to show for it. Bottom lane, kind of expected, you know, again, 2 melee against not any kind of like CC or double potential is always going to put you in a rough spot. And that last big net profit is really that's turned this game so much more alive. So the use of the spirit side for getting him a lot of this extra farm, opening up the top side of the map, and we mentioned the strength of having the Dire side angle to be able to play around with. Well, sorry, you don't need more. You've got no tier 2 tower, you've got no outpost, and they're going to start falling a fair bit behind in experience as well now.
Tower has fallen.
Outside's positioning just a little bit too far down. He won't be able to hit this slow. So he's looking back to have XM and the TA. It's a safe space to be able to get some catch-up farm, but that's not to be the case as all of a sudden 4 members of YB pop up in her face.
Okay, she's got the Dragonlance at least on the TA. Going into a Ring of Basilius, so again, just wanting to stay on the map as much as possible, try and spam out those abilities as much as she can. That's conservative with them. They've got to take risks at this stage, so being feels the destiny on his Ricky is going to be on the tier. That's your role throughout this game. If you get caught out, try and dodge it out. Ricky has a lot of juking capabilities, and TA and mid in the position to get ganked. Despite how this early game has gone, it's only a 1k net worth lead, it has to be said, despite them being far ahead in towers.
Death's bounty.
Press honestly with how this net worth lead is, you're making sure it doesn't get too out of hand at this early stage. China. It's just a question of like, when do we feel like they're potentially strong enough to turn around? Maybe this blink on Echoes that he actually went for first item, they could feel finally strong to be the ones that actually initiate some of the fights.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, going for a smoke here on multiple heroes, TA's not going to turn up at anything. She's still a long way away from having any kind of significant contribution. I think it's going to be on the back of outside, to be honest. Not too often that you see a position 5 be the one to potentially bring you back into a game. He's been a little greedy over this style. He's got power treads, he's got a magic wand, a few raindrops. Now he's level 6, so a bit more ready to brawl, but movement didn't find anyone out. It was just to place down some observer wards to be able to scout out potential movement coming back the other way. Let's see how on point Jesse plays.
He's going to be able to chop the arena, holding the Templar Assassin into place so beyond can burn the refraction with ease. However, opening though for the last hope, all it is to the position fire sound, so that's not the exchange you're hoping for to make it a worthwhile trade.
good use of the global right. Xiaoma getting in position to try and get that snowball save. Not letting it happen. Instead, TA sitting at the very bottom of that first card for the cause and in a position to be able to recover that any time soon. On the Overlord, the next item that they want to try and fight around. No real heroes that are going to use that in any significant way. So we're just trying to think what else they can look to pair with. Ages away from the Blink Dagger. TA making a choice between Blink and Desolator, but neither of them are going to come anytime soon. Just have a look at Blue. He's been so cheeky, just sending his friends to try and lock up these camps as possible. Do it this time, but Royal succeed. That's a bit is the illusion room.
So it's nice reaction with the Blink. Or it's
Gotcha!
about with his micro. He's farming, hasn't been.
Ava might be in trouble. Bottom side. You had Ricky just standing on top of him. Mars was incredibly close by with that like dagger and arena available. Of course, anytime there's Nature's Prophet, you've always got that +1 potential, but feeling like they're in a position where they still just want to pick up a little bit more of their fun.
Nature's Prophet, the ATOS, and one will camp away from the weapon as well. So very, very close to completing this big item early for Lu, who has a gigantic network lead. Counterpart position one is see how I called out. If look at them, they're hoping for, but Japanese slammed the door shot.
Of them all.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Outsiders have retaken their own jungle is actually big credit to them. They've got a ton of vision set up there. They're putting, angling this Enchantress, right? Saying, hey, kill me, you know, this is where you're farming right now. You haven't shown on the map too much. If you don't, this is going to tell us that a lot of these hawks are being as well, just to give a ton of vision of any aggressive movement. So TA is actually recovering a little.
I think for YBB, you should be considering about Root pretty surely. Usually you'd like to wait for second point in Exo, but I think this game you don't particularly have to with the Nature's Prophet. A lot of damage she can pump out. You've got the Blink 70, so you're in fighting. You've got all your ultimates already. First can come into play is 70. Jumps in, and that's going to be the initial target, and they've got plenty of heroes to surround her and bring her down. Maybe that's the pickup that can help them get an objective now.
Yeah. Possibly. I mean, again, you're in a position where not sure if you want to use the glyph. They did choose to go into that tier 2 tower just because you've already lost one. Again, it's just the little things as well, right? It probably wouldn't have mattered at the end, but 70 choosing to walk around and spear back prevented that Tusk TP from potentially getting the snowball save.
The Tusk is going to be in some trouble. Snowball off the lane, not the base.
Start of the TP there.
Bottom lane, he's in trouble as well. He's going to be able to hold the Beast Master to play directly onto all three, and even global sides as well, to prevent the threat of maybe a lasso turnaround as they can jump over the tree. They've got brought to an angle to close the distance down through that right. Yeah, that'll be the case. Destiny, one more use of the Blink Strike helps kill. And what will it be? I mean, the net worth was starting to mellow out, but that past sequence of events is a nice boost of
tell that they're desperate for these levels, though. Just taking back the outpost on XM right before the minute mark means that they slowly start to creep up again, but you just have a look. Destiny immediately making that movement back up towards the side. I don't think there's any sentry walls close by, just covering the wall closest to Roche.
Is under attack.
Keep standing right on top of the TA, even if it's not finding any kills, which might actually coming in. With the sprout, with the clap there, if they needed it. Another death for the TA. There's just nowhere safe to go. And I'm sure that the call is going to be, let's get some really solid sentry coverage around this jungle that we've fought so far to try and get back, and now they've just walked in again.
I don't think they can actually take a fight by the pit. And they know they're smoking as well. The one sentry combo is going to scout them out. So look at 70's positioning. Going to put himself on the front line. He can be the one to face check the smoke and jump in with the arena. The bodyguard give them that time to bring Roche down for free. Exo can changes the work here for YBB.
They help a little creep, so they're going to use that to its fullest potential, but see the pings out. I wonder if Destiny's going to try and sleeping on it just to be able to get some free gold. Wait, wait. And then, yeah, like, again, you know TA wants to be up on the top side of the map.
Is under attack.
That's where you're going to be able to claim the largest amount of farm. He's not worried. He's got what he needs to make a big impact in this game. So he's just waiting for someone vulnerable to show and complete XM. It's just a matter of, are you a little bit close to that tower? And he's actually understated as well. So a little more conservative coming through and move back towards that ancient camp. Sure, she was a little worried though that again, there's a little bit of a lack of sentry ward coverage.
This might be in trouble. That's like even DP combination of Beyond. Does he have enough time with the Firefly to get out? Or should Proc, in fact, Echo's even going to run straight into Beyond, so all it is just space created so suppose Die can hope to make play, but yeah, look at the smoking technique. He's going to TP down. Darkins practically spear. Once of Xiaoma is going to be another cat. Maybe not in fact.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So we'll be able to steal.
Go!
Being aggressively inside of the ancient camp on the dire side, saying, you know what, everyone was there to be able to potentially protect. We knew they were making an aggressive movement. So I can what you want to see it. No worries at all.
If it's 3 big spots, if you're ready to take, why not? Potentially the helm the overlord creep as well, so this ages, you're not going to have any T2 towers by this thing, so we're seeing YBB play the map.
Well, truly hit a lot of their timing. Going into the load absorb as well, so wanting to disrupt any kind of comeback potential that they've run outside, as you know it's probably going to be around that high ground siege, maybe getting a lasso back inside the base.
Oops. It's actually so fun, man. We've got a Manta stuff. What are we making inside him here the next spot?
Nice way to be able to break out of, to get rid of a lot of those sticky napalm charges without the EKB. Provides a little bit of extra pushing power as well. Vision advantage if you want to send the illusions.
Dire's middle tower.
Just wants a bit of fun, but that's not to be. YBB are everywhere in this game one.
Is under attack.
That's what I'm talking
Wasn't
about.
able to find the lasso. That's any quick use of the sounds, preventing that jumping. Maybe you're kind of happy you didn't find the lasso. Using that onto the Ricky, which is guarantee an extra tower going down and even high ground being under siege.
Dire's
70
bottom
to
tower
be is the one that's just been
Dire's
everywhere.
bottom
The man
tower
without
has fallen.
a boots of travel has no right to just roam around the map as much as he has. The level of impact just makes it so you're not safe farming anyway.
How do you hold these days?
Yeah.
Dire's bottom
Right.
tower is under attack.
You could literally
I guess it's around the last but again, like without a PKB on the rider, you can just get sleeping dive, you can get
Well, they'll try. There's the start of the last one, but the Global Silence going to try and protect Blue. Excellent by the Xiaoma with the first half, but they all could punch with stability. Can land in the arena of Beyond, can charge into the middle. X is committed. Beyond has no fear in the world. They can look to clean up, and XM trying to get closer towards the fountain. But there's a different cut down, they cannot. XM will live to see another day. All they got was the ages.
Dire's
okay. I mean, I can understand why you're 12k this early, and they're even going to find it after the GP ball. And look, the Fred actually explodes. This was demolition there. Just was not expecting this to come out at all.
It's cleaver time!